coming to light, did the Padres know about this? Did they know? And did they say, hey, we're going to go ahead and take a risk? Now there's a lot of questions with Fernando Tatis Jr. And if he, it's going to take him some time to recover. So he's going to be out. So this is definitely going to affect the Padres, immensely. And especially the longer that he's out. What if he doesn't come back to his full form and being able to play? And does this mean that he's just going to be out and expected to be out with injury time and time again and not be able to play an entire season from here on out? There are a lot of questions that I have with regards to this, especially if this has been a continuous issue and is just coming to light. That's a lot of money.
It is. Joanna, my question for Fernando Tatis Jr. is from what manager Jace Tingler told reporters, Tatis told him that he's had this injury and this discomfort since rookie ball. And Jace Tingler said he's also had it since his minor league days. So it's not like Tatis Jr. couldn't have got the surgery to alleviate this shoulder issue, but he let this thing linger and continue to linger, Joanna, since his rookie ball days. He's a professional baseball player now, making $340 million. He could have gotten that surgery between then and now, but no, he let that thing linger and did not get it addressed. And now it's coming back to bite him in the you know what, because it hurt him.
You know what?
The Giants.
And you know what? It pisses me off. It really pisses me off. You know why?
Why?
Because if you knew about it, you had a chance to correct it. Now it's become an issue. And whether, let's say the team didn't know, or even if the team knew.
They did know.
I'm just saying that, either way, because now you're going to be paid a contract, even if it does say that you don't play do 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's an opportunity that could have gone to someone else.
Yes.
A contract that could have gone to someone else. Not that he's not worthy of it, but in the instance that he can no longer play, which we've had that happen before. It wouldn't be the first and it's not going to be the last time. But it does disturb me that, especially if it's been a continuous issue and it can be a possibility, whether that's season ending or maybe even career ending, depending on how the severity of it, which I'm sure that they knew.
Yes. Jace, the manager Tingler said he knew that Tatis had been dealing with this since his minor league days. So right. That was clearly before he signed that 14-year, $340 million contract. So at least one person with the San Diego Padres had knowledge that Fernando Tatis Jr. had this left shoulder discomfort, and it's the manager. Yeah. And the fact that he did not address this, that the trainers and the medical staff and everybody else before they signed this contract did not deal with Fernando Tatis Jr.'s injury and not get this thing settled and taken care of before he signed on that dotted line for 14 years and almost $400 million. And now he's on a 10-day list because of this shoulder injury that should have been taken care of years ago when he was in rookie ball. That should have been taken care of then, and now they wouldn't be in the situation they are in now.
Right. And then earlier when I said that, I was just referencing in general, not Fernando Tatis. I was just referencing in general, which I do know that, we do know that now. But another thing too, where it pisses me off is the postseason. It's not only affecting you as an individual, it's affecting the organization and it's affecting the players. It's affecting your team. It's affecting everyone involved. That's, in your circle, in your environment, everyone, there's so much that's involved. So that's knowing that he had an opportunity to work on this and get this rectified so much sooner. And even as a team, now you are risking, yourself as a player, your health, and the possibility of a postseason chance, because we know he's great and the Padres are great. They've added some major weapons to their arsenal, and being in the division that they are facing the Dodgers, these two, who the Dodgers and the Padres are, we know that are contenders for the postseason already.
Right.
So now where does this put the Padres?
Oh, it surely sends ripples throughout the organization, does it not? That a guy that you relied on, that you had the highest of hopes for, Tatis Jr., that's why you gave him a 14-year, $340 million contract. They don't just hand out those contracts to any old body coming off the street, Joanna. They valued Tatis Jr. that much. They thought that highly of him, even after a short resume, just a short demo tape, if you will, of Tatis Jr. in San Diego, that they would sign him to that contract. And then this situation comes up. And it's not good. And what do you think, honestly, Joanna, what do you think 10 days is really going to do to his injury? Do you think he'll come back? Do you think it'll magically just go away? I don't think so. I think it's going to linger in, and I just hope it doesn't get worse where he has to have surgery and he's out for the year.
And I want to add, and another thing where it does bother me before jumping into that, Ed, because I have a little something of myself to share with that. But especially if this is something that he suffered 2 weeks ago before spring training was over and the season started. He came back 2 days or 2 games later. Why not? Because this is spring training. You're about to have the season start here shortly. Why not take the rest? Especially if it's soreness. Rather just be 100%. That's going to be something, yes, that you're going to be fighting with probably the rest of your life, and you're not going to be 100%, but be to the most of possible that you can be go out there and play and just rest and rehab that shoulder. Maybe get some BP or some activity out there, or maybe an at bat here and there, but not full activity, to give that shoulder some time to recover. So no, I don't think that 10 days is going to, with the severity and how badly we saw that he was in pain. If you have seen the video and what has come to light, it seems like he's going to need surgery. I myself have 2 shoulders that are injured. I still from time to time have my bad days. I still have, popping that happens. I just goes pop in, pop out. So, but, I've taken what it is that I need to do, and I know my shoulder is going to be as best as it's can be. But did he take those measures to be the best that he can be and so that it wouldn't affect him in the long run, wouldn't affect his teammates, it wouldn't affect his, organization?
It doesn't seem like it. If he's been suffering with this since he's been in rookie ball and in the minor leagues, he hasn't addressed it clearly because it is still there and it's getting worse. GM AJ Preller for the Padres general manager, he says the injury is non-surgical, but that doesn't mean it couldn't turn into being a surgical procedure that would need to happen. If he continues to, if he comes back from 10 days later and he still works on that shoulder and it still doesn't get better and he continues to swing with a violent swing that he does, it's only going to get worse, Joanna. It won't heal on its own. If he's putting that much pressure on it on an at-bat basis, on a daily basis, there's no way it can physically get better. That tear is just going to get worse and his shoulder is going to get worse. And then he's going to have to get surgery and he may be out for the year. Just the things you don't do when you're young comes back to bite you in the butt. And that's what this situation is. He should have gotten it taken care of when he was in the minor leagues, when he first got the feeling that he had this discomfort. He should have gotten it looked at. And if he needed surgery then, he wouldn't be in the situation now. With all the hopes and dreams that the Padres organization and their fans have and the love they have for him, it's just so disappointing. It's so sad that it's coming to this point when he could have easily gotten it taken care of. Yep.
So I hope that he does get better and that he doesn't have to have surgery and he can just take the time to heal. This is what happens when you try to rush yourself back from injury. You don't nurse it. You think, even, yes, okay, I have some soreness. I have, some discomfort. It hurts a little bit. No, but I can go ahead and push through. No, that's why you also have your trainers, where you also have your, your team, your staff to help, the players guide through this. And I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to go, get too much into that. But if you rush too soon to get in there and play, there's a setback. And the setback is larger than the initial injury. So,
yes,
and I know it because I've experienced it. I've been there and have gone through it. So I hope he does get better. If he doesn't need surgery, just take your time, nurse, rehab, do the treatment. It's better to take a longer time now than to be out for the season, miss out the postseason. We all are excited to see him. He has the talent, immense talent, and so much that he can do not only this season, but throughout his career. And that's where I will go ahead and leave that at.
Yeah, I agree. Just take your time, Fernando. Don't rush it back. That's why it's a long season. It's 162 games. They don't crown champions in April. They do it in October. So take the time now, get yourself rested, and heaven forbid it should come to the point where it does need surgery, Johanna. But if it does come to that with the diagnosis from the medical world and he has to have surgery, get it done now. And if you're out for the season, you've got at least 13 more years on your contract. Get it done now and do not let this thing linger, because if it does continue to go on like this, it's going to be a long 14 years for Fernando Tatis Jr. if he does not get this injury addressed. His career will suffer immensely if he does not get this fixed.
Yes. So I know we are running out of time. We're close to closing our second hour of the show.
Already?
So there are two more things that I want to go ahead and do a speed through with baseball, and then we'll have 10 minutes to knock down a couple of topics with the NFL. But first, I want to say the Orioles, my goodness, they've come out and they started hot. Did not expect that from the Orioles, being the worst team in baseball, and the chances that they have, which are 0, to get into the World Series. So that's one. They've lost. They started on a 3-0 streak. They've lost. But hopefully they can go ahead and still go off of that and find some fight and see, with that what they can do and with the potential that they have. With that, I will go ahead and move on to Trey Mancini, who has returned to Major League Baseball, to the pros, since battling colon cancer. So that's something that is very inspiring. And we didn't know what his future held, whether he was going to be back or he was not going to be back. And his battle, he's fought that battle. He has won that battle. He said that he was going to take time away from once he went ahead and found out that he had stage 3 colon cancer. And now he's back. His return was, a little bittersweet. I don't know if you saw the video when he got to first base, and just how emotional that was for him.
Yeah, very cool. Yes. So can he lock up the comeback player of the year already, just for stepping out on a baseball diamond to play baseball? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. And then that first game, the Orioles beat the Red Sox, my beloved Red Sox, on opening day 3-0. Mm-hmm. So how much better, could that happen for Trey?
Just great. So he underwent surgery. He got the tumor removed, and then he had 6 months of chemotherapy, which had to have been horrific for him. Just an absolute ordeal for him to go through that chemo. But he fought and he fought and he fought, and he stayed strong. And God bless him. You got to give Trey Mancini credit for fighting back to do what he loves, which is play the game of baseball. God bless him. That hats off to him for doing that. Most people would not have the intestinal fortitude to do that, Johanna. No, not at all. So keep an eye on him. I'm excited for him. Welcome back, Trey. And hopefully he has a phenomenal season and just, even more to come from him. Absolutely.
And speaking about lighting fire, I just want to go ahead and talk a little bit of JD Martinez. Just one sentence. He has just come out hot and heavy. His bat is like literally on fire, Ed. Over these last 3 days. He's just been hitting home runs. He's been going long, or like I like to say, going yard. He's just that guy I do have a crush on him. I would say that. So